What is the true purpose of life, after all? Ladies and gentlemen, we often hear people say, you can afford to buy hundreds of meals, but in the end, you only eat 3 a day. No matter how big your house is, you still only sleep in one room. You may own a luxury car, but that doesn't guarantee you'll feel any happier. Climbing higher in your career brings more responsibilities, and the glitter of success is fleeting, like mist that fades with time. Life, which seems long, often slips away before we even realize it. In this fast-paced world, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what is the purpose of life? What are you living for, and is what you're chasing after really worth as much as you think? Welcome to Rise Above Yourself, a channel that inspires a happy life, shares knowledge and skills to help you break through and perfect yourself every day. There's an old story that goes like this. A hard-working fisherman would go out to sea early in the morning, only return home late at night, working tirelessly throughout the year without taking a day off. The lazy fisherman, on the other hand, only catch enough fish to sell for a day's worth of rice, then spend the rest of his day lounging on the beach or playing with his family. One day, the lazy fisherman asked the hard-working one, "Why do you work so hard from dawn till dusk every single day?" The hard-working fisherman replied, "I want to catch more fish, sell them, and save enough money to buy a boat." The lazy fisherman then asked, "And what will you do once you have the boat?" The hard-working fisherman gazed out at the horizon and said, "I'll catch even more fish, make more money, and buy a bigger boat." The lazy fisherman continued, "And after you have the bigger boat, what will you do?" The hard-working fisherman smiled proudly and answered, "I'll keep buying bigger boats, and then one day, I won't have to fish anymore. I'll be able to rest, lie on the beach every day, and listen to the waves." The lazy fisherman looked into the hopeful eyes of the hard-working one and said, "But look, right now, every day I'm already lying on the beach and listening to the waves." The hard-working fisherman fell silent, lost in thought. At first glance, many might think this story is negative, that the lazy fisherman chose a path without ambition. But in reality, it holds a profound lesson that makes us reflect on the meaning of life. Lao Tzu once said in the Tao Te Ching, "He who knows when enough is enough will always have enough. He who knows when to stop will never face danger." This quote serves as a reminder of the value of being content with what we have and knowing when to stop before it's too late. The hard-working fisherman spent his entire life toiling away, with his ultimate goal being to rest on the beach, bask in the sun, and listen to the waves. But the lazy fisherman, by living simply and only doing enough to get by, had already achieved that from the very beginning. He didn't need a bigger boat, nor did he need to amass a fortune. For him, the joy he sought was already in the small, simple moments surrounding him, without any need for waiting. Behind each person's choice lies a different philosophy of life. The hard-working fisherman may feel fulfilled by having goal and constantly striving for more, but he forgets that the peace he longs for is within reach if he would just stop and appreciate it. Meanwhile, the lazy fisherman has chosen a simpler path, not because he lacks ambition, but because he knows happiness doesn't always come from endless pursuit and accumulation. Lao Tzu's words illuminate the contrast between the two characters in the story. The one who knows contentment lives in peace, free from the whirlwind of insatiable desires and never-ending demands. But the one who doesn't know contentment, no matter how much he possesses, can never find satisfaction. The hard-working fisherman may accumulate great wealth, but he's sacrificing precious moments that he could be enjoying with his family or in nature, only to realize that his ultimate goal was the very rest the lazy fisherman already enjoys. The lazy fisherman has chosen not to chase after things beyond his reach, knowing that true contentment comes from within, not from the outside. This story doesn't encourage a life of doing nothing, but it reminds us that in the rush to make a living, we should never forget to ask ourselves, what do we really need to be happy? Seen from this perspective, the tale of the two fishermen is not just a contrast between hard work and laziness, but a lesson in living true to ourselves, knowing when to be content, and appreciating the simple joys life offers. When we know when to pause and when to appreciate, We can find happiness in the smallest things, instead of endlessly chasing grand dreams while missing the life we have now. In the end, life isn't just about accumulating wealth or conquering great heights. It's also about enjoying the journey we're on, being content with what we have, and finding peace in the everyday moments. We shouldn't wait until we're rich or achieve big goals to allow ourselves to be happy, because sometimes happiness has been there all along, right where we started, waiting for us to notice. In life, there are many times when we feel like we're walking in darkness, swept away by passions without truly knowing what we're chasing. We spend our lives searching for fame, fortune, love, material things, and even security. But how many of us ever stop to ask, what do these things really mean to our body and soul? Today, modern life is filled with abundant and luxurious conveniences that seem to satisfy every need. Yet, this very abundance has trapped many in a cycle of dependence, stripping away the freedom of their soul. We see people rushing into work, competing to own houses, cars, luxury goods, or chasing after the image of an ideal life painted by society. Meanwhile, we easily forget the small yet deeply valuable moments, like an afternoon listening to the wind rustling through the trees or the smile of a child. Those who know contentment are truly wealthy. Those who know when to stop are at peace. Happiness doesn't come from endless accumulation, but from the ability to feel complete with what we already have. How many of us have become slaves to the very things we pursue? The nature of money, fame, and power is like invisible chains that tie us to a never-ending race. The Buddha once taught, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. This emphasizes that happiness isn't at the destination we expect, but in how we walk the journey, appreciating and living fully in each moment. When we look out at the crowded streets, it's hard to tell how many people are truly free and how many are caught in the whirlwind of ambition. There are those who work tirelessly to climb the career ladder, only to realize that status and high positions cannot fill the emptiness inside. The constant pressure brings anxiety and stress, distancing them from their true selves. Philosophy always reminds us, return to the root, rediscover the truth. Only by returning to our original nature can we find true peace. Deep down, every person desires to live authentically and with kindness, but achieving this is no easy task. How do we live a meaningful life without being bound by the temporary? The answer may lie in awareness, realizing that external things can never bring eternal happiness. Look at the closest relationships in your life. Is your spouse truly yours? No. Two people can share life's joys and sorrows, weather hardships together, but there will still come a time when they must part. You may walk a part of the journey together, but you cannot walk it forever. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, to love is not to possess, but to walk together on the path. This truth reminds us that, even in love and connection, we must accept the impermanence of life. Are your children truly yours? No. Blood ties are only a part of life's cycle of reincarnation. Parents and children love each other, hoping to care for and protect one another, but eventually each must walk their own path. We cannot keep our children with us forever, nor can we rewind time to hold on to the memories of days gone by. Is money truly yours? No, it isn't. We spend our entire lives earning money, only to have to find ways to spend it. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy a peaceful soul. You can buy an expensive bed, but you can't buy a good night's sleep. This highlights that the most valuable things don't come from the external comforts that money can provide. Is your house, your car, truly yours? No, they're not. The material possessions we work so hard to accumulate are merely temporary. When we leave this world, they will belong to someone else. They no longer belong to us. We rush to chase beauty, wealth, and status, but in doing so, we may lose ourselves. Life, in the end, is brief. So brief that by the time we greet the morning, it's already sunset. Before we experience spring, winter has arrived. In this impermanence, we should live a life that truly matters, so when we look back, we won't regret having missed what was most important. Spiritual values like serenity, sincerity, love, and gratitude are the true treasures of life. Living is not about running away, but recognizing the beauty in everything passing by. So, live a life not dependent on material things, appreciate what you have, and seek peace in each present moment. When we do this, even if our bodies live amidst a world full of turmoil, our souls can still reach a state of peace, like a paradise within. So what do we live for? We've contemplated the story of two fishermen, one diligent, tirelessly working to accumulate wealth, and one lazy, only doing enough to live for the day and spending the rest of his time in leisure. It seems in this story that each person is pursuing different values in life, which brings forth a deeper question. In the end, what do we live for? Do we live for material things? When we talk about the purpose of life, many immediately think of money, fame, and power. Indeed, in modern society, these are often regarded as the goals people endlessly strive for. Money is a measure of success, the source of confidence and power. It brings a sense of security and ensures basic needs such as shelter, food, and healthcare. Luxurious homes, expensive cars, and high-end comforts make us feel comfortable and confident. Fame brings social recognition, while power allows us to control our lives and sometimes the lives of others. All of these become the motivation that drives us to keep pushing forward every day. We chase fame in hopes of gaining recognition from others, yearning to be admired. We compete to own more, to be better and more beautiful than those around us. We seek love, to feel cared for and cherished, believing that once we possess enough of these things, happiness will naturally follow. And indeed, material things are an inseparable part of life. They help us survive and meet the most basic human needs. No one can deny their importance. But the question arises, do these things truly bring lasting happiness, or are they merely illusions we create for ourselves to chase after? How long does the satisfaction of owning a large house or a brand new car last before it is replaced by other desires and needs? History is filled with stories of people who had everything others could only dream of: money, fame, power, yet still felt empty. They could be powerful kings holding the fate of an entire nation, or wealthy magnates owning millions of dollars. However, beneath the glamorous exterior, they were unable to fill the loneliness and emptiness inside their souls. Money, fame, and power seem unable to touch the deepest part of the heart, where true peace lies. That is why some people, even though they may control the outside world, cannot control the emptiness within. There's an old saying, material wealth is merely external. This reminds us that all material things are temporary. Money can be lost in an instant due to a natural disaster or a wrong business decision. Fame, inherently fragile, can fade over time as the world around us changes and values shift. And power, no matter how strong, cannot overcome the limitations of human life. When we are born, we bring nothing with us, and when we leave this world, all that we own cannot follow us. Look at examples from both history and modern life. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, once said in his final days, "The most expensive bed is the hospital bed." He realized that when faced with death, all the things people crave, wealth, fame, and status, become meaningless. What he regretted wasn't the deals he hadn't signed or the products he hadn't launched, but the moments missed with family and the simple pleasures of life. The question we must ask is, if we spend our lives chasing after superficial things and overlook the intrinsic values, is it worth it? If our life's goal is solely to accumulate more, own better, then when will we stop to enjoy what we have achieved? Material things can make life more comfortable, but they can never replace inner peace and true happiness. And sometimes, the relentless pursuit of these things only turns us into slaves of what we have created ourselves. In the end, what matters is not how much we own, but how we live and experience each day. True contentment and happiness come from within, from the ability to feel enough and appreciate what we have. It's when we realize that a peaceful morning with a cup of coffee, a warm hug from a loved one, or an afternoon listening to the wind rustling through the leaves is far more valuable than the things we've spent so much effort accumulating. Ask yourself, are you living to possess, or are you possessing to live? Living for the spirit? If material wealth is merely an outer shell, the true meaning of life lies deep within the spirit. This is something many philosophers and spiritual seekers have long pursued. To them, the ultimate purpose of life is not wealth, power, or fame, but a return to the pure, untainted essence of humanity, what they call returning to the true nature. This is the process of letting go of the distractions of daily life, escaping material desires and societal pressures, to rediscover oneself, to find harmony with nature and those around us. We live in a busy world, where the rapid development of technology and society has made life more complicated than ever. Many people get caught up in the grind of work, in endless goals and ambitions. We strive to achieve more, to accumulate more, hoping that material success will bring us joy and happiness. But in reality, when we attain those things, we often feel empty and lost. This is because they are only external values and cannot reach the deepest part of the soul. What we truly need to seek is peace in the heart. Living a fulfilling life does not mean owning many assets or being revered by others, but living with a heart unburdened by worries. That heart is not disturbed by the waves of ambition, nor obsessed with things not yet achieved. This is true freedom, when we are no longer bound by external matters, but can find joy in the little things, in the most ordinary moments. It could be the smile of a loved one, the feeling of relaxation while strolling under green trees, or simply a quiet afternoon watching the sunset. In reality, happiness and satisfaction do not come from the grand things many imagine. They come from the tranquility of the soul, from the ability to feel content and appreciate the present. Satisfaction comes when we realize that we don't need to try to possess everything, but simply need to find peace in what we already have. It is when we look at the world with a different perspective, no longer measuring everything by material standards, but seeing the value in presence, in each moment unfolding before us. The ultimate purpose of life, according to many ancient philosophies, is to return to deep peace. That is when we live without being haunted by desires, without being swept away by the unending waves of competition. Buddha once said, "In silence we find ourselves." It is when our soul is no longer disturbed by the chaos of the outside world, becoming calm and light amidst the hurried flow of life. At that moment, we can feel ourselves more clearly, no longer obscured by others' expectations or societal pressures. When the mind becomes serene, we begin to notice the small but incredibly precious things we once overlooked. Could be the beauty of a blooming flower by the roadside or the warmth of waking up in the morning beside family. These are simple things, yet they bring us a sense of closeness to the natural essence of life, much like when we were children, untouched by the pressures of adult life. Living such a life does not mean we must abandon all material things or retreat from society. It means living with a deeper awareness, knowing where we are headed and for what purpose. We can still work, we can still strive, but not let those goals take away the peace of our soul. When we are no longer dependent on external things, we can truly live freely. That freedom does not come from being able to buy whatever we want, but from no longer being controlled by those desires. People who live with a peaceful spirit often find it easy to connect with others and with nature. They understand that we are all part of a vast universe, and each of us has a special place in the flow of life. When the mind is calm, we feel like a grain of sand in the desert, small but not lonely, because around us are millions of other grains of sand, coexisting and moving according to the natural laws. Philosopher Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "Understanding oneself is the foundation of wisdom." When we truly understand ourselves, we no longer get lost in illusions of success or idealized images imposed by society. We come to understand our own limitations, but also recognize the boundless openness of the soul. This helps us find balance between achieving what we desire and maintaining a calm spirit, free from agitation. Perhaps, in a world where everything happens too fast and people are always busy with their goals, seeking peace of mind seems like a luxury. But it is this very path that leads to true happiness. When we learn to live simply, to pause and listen to ourselves, we realize that we don't need to go far to find peace, because that peace has always been right inside us, just waiting for us to discover and embrace it. What is the meaning of life if not to feel and experience every moment, to know that we have lived fully without losing the connection to ourselves and the universe? Live more slowly, more gently, so that when we look back, we don't regret having missed the most beautiful things. The peace of the soul is the greatest gift each of us can give to ourselves, far beyond any material wealth we may possess. Material and spirit. Which is the life worth living? Between material and spirit, which is truly more important? Material things can be compared to clouds in the sky, coming and going at any moment, appearing and disappearing without notice. Spirit, on the other hand, is like the deep ocean, where the surface may be stirred by storms and waves, but deep below, there is always calm and peace. Material things can bring us temporary joy, but only the spirit can offer lasting fulfillment and tranquility. Material things are like a boat that helps us navigate through the storms of life, providing safety and comfort. Thanks to material wealth, we can get through difficult times and meet our basic needs. But in the end, when that boat has completed its journey, it must return to the vast ocean. Similarly, each of us, after accumulating enough external possessions, must face the truth about ourselves, about our core values, and what truly matters in our hearts. Many people spend their whole lives pursuing careers, making money, and accumulating wealth. They dive into their work, endlessly seeking opportunities to advance further, to acquire more. But as age catches up and life draws to a close, they look back and realize they have missed so much. Peaceful afternoons with family, the laughter of children, the small but meaningful moments. These things cannot be bought with money, nor found in the glamour of success. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy back lost time, cannot buy genuine connections, or the love they missed along the way. In contrast, some people choose a simple lifestyle, not focused on accumulating wealth. They may not have lavish homes or expensive possessions, but they find joy in simple things. They may find happiness in tending to a small garden, in warm meals with loved ones, or in quiet moments watching the sunset. For them, the simplest things are the most precious. Each day, they live with a warm heart, cherishing the small moments of life. They may lack material wealth, but they are rich in spirit. The peaceful moments with family, the small joys of caring for life around them, are things that money can never buy. Material things can help us build a comfortable life, but they are not the only measure of happiness. A life rich in spirit is what brings true satisfaction, because it is a life not bound by external things, not driven by endless desires. A peaceful heart, a soul that pauses to appreciate the beauty around it. That is the source of freedom and happiness. Ultimately, the choice between material and spirit is not necessarily an all-or-nothing decision. We can live in material abundance while still maintaining spiritual balance. What's important is recognizing the limits of what money can bring and knowing when to stop so as not to lose sight of what truly matters. It is the harmonious combination of meeting basic needs while nurturing the spirit that brings a more meaningful and fulfilling life. The right to live for happiness. So how can we live a meaningful life, breaking free from the vicious cycle of material desires? This is a question everyone has asked themselves at some point in life. We live in a world where money, fame, and power are seen as the standards of success. Modern society, with its rapid development, has driven people to chase after material needs and ever-growing desires. But to find the answer to this question, we need to return to the essence of humanity and explore a way of living that truly aligns with our soul, so that we no longer feel lost in the restless sea of life. First, we need to free ourselves from being enslaved by material things. Material possessions are not everything. Yet in the constant pursuit of them, many people allow external things to control their entire lives. Money, fame, power, these are like fleeting illusions, easy to come by, easy to lose. They may bring us comfort and outward glamour, but they cannot provide peace within the soul. A beautiful house, a luxury car, or expensive items can only satisfy us for a short time. But as new desires emerge, the sense of fulfillment quickly fades, replaced by an emptiness that cannot be filled. Therefore, we must not become slaves to material possessions, but learn to control them, not allowing them to dominate our thoughts and emotions. Remember, happiness does not come from owning more, but from knowing what is enough and appreciating what we already have. When we realize that simplicity can bring lasting joy, we will discover the true value of life. Along with freeing ourselves from material constraints, we need to return to our natural essence. Returning to our pure, original nature is the foundation for a peaceful life. We are often drawn into the values imposed by society, forgetting our own natural state. In the pursuit of socially defined success, we may lose the innocence and authenticity we once had. Let's rediscover those core values, the simple things we often overlook in our busy lives. It could be the joy of watching the sunrise each morning, the warmth of gathering with family, or the tranquility of knowing we are living true to ourselves. When we live authentically, unbound by societal norms, that's when we find true freedom. Another important part of finding the right way to live is learning to seek inner peace. The ultimate goal of life is not to accumulate material wealth or fame, but to find peace within. When our soul is calm, all the storms outside seem small and unable to disturb our emotions. In this stressful life, sometimes all we need is a few moments of silence to give ourselves time to look deep within. Meditation, yoga, or simply sitting quietly and listening to our inner voice are ways to return to inner tranquility. These activities help us realize what truly matters, allowing us to let go of unnecessary worries and regain balance in life. So how can we truly change our lives in this direction? First, we can start by practicing gratitude. Each day, take a few minutes to note down things you are grateful for, even if they are small, like a cool breeze, a delicious meal, or the presence of a good friend. When we practice gratitude, we will realize that life is filled with beauty, often overlooked in our busyness. Next, live simply. Minimalist living not only reduces material burdens, but also lightens the mind. Remove unnecessary things, let go of relationships that no longer have meaning, and focus on the core values you truly cherish. By doing so, we will find our mind clearer, no longer weighed down by trivial concerns. In addition, taking care of both physical and mental health is essential. Set aside time for exercise, eat healthily, and pay attention to your emotions. When the body is healthy, the mind will also be calm and balanced. Listen to your body, and remember that health is the foundation for pursuing your goals in life. Another great way to restore balance is to connect with nature. In modern life, we often forget the presence of nature around us. But nature is a powerful source of energy, helping us recharge. Spend time outdoors, enjoy the sight of trees, breathe in the fresh air, or simply sit under a tree and feel the rhythm of the earth. When we immerse ourselves in nature, we feel small, and our worries and stresses seem to diminish. Finally, help others, contribute to the community, and do meaningful work. When we give, we receive joy and fulfillment from helping others. It could be a smile, a word of encouragement, or a small act of kindness in daily life. Sharing not only makes others happy, but also gives us a sense of worth. To sum up, to live a meaningful life, we need to break free from material constraints, return to our natural essence, and seek peace within. It's a journey to reconnect with ourselves and discover the true values in life. Start with small changes in daily life: gratitude, simplicity, self-care, connecting with nature, and sharing love. Each of these actions, though small, contributes to living a deeper, more meaningful life. When we live authentically, happiness will come naturally, happiness that doesn't come from chasing external things, but from pausing and looking within, realizing that we are already whole and at peace. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming exciting videos. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. We really look forward to hearing from you. Wishing you a wonderful and inspiring day. See you in the next video.